Thank you very much, Richard. Thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here. Yes, I chose international collaboration meeting environmental challenges, and I know that Kevin has mentioned it, and Richard has used excellent examples of what I'm going to talk about. What I want to talk about is we're all aware, and I take it for granted, first of all, that most of you are familiar with IDF, so I'll spare you the small introduction of what the organization is all about. I also took for granted that you are very familiar with the challenge on climate change that we face as an industry, and I think Richard, the first part of the presentation was excellent in that regard. The FAO is estimating that we will double the production of meal globally that was in 2010 by 2015. So our challenge is really that as a user of energy, we need to be extremely efficient. Yes, we are producing a very nutritious food, but we're also using energy, and we have to be extremely efficient in doing so. Now, one of the things is that this is not a new challenge for the industry. Increasing our efficiency as an industry at all aspects has been going on for many years. I want to use IDF as an example of the kind of work we've been doing over the past 20 years. And we've been addressing many aspects of our industry in terms of mitigation for gas emissions at the farm, use of energy use in the industry, in the processing side, waste prevention, and so on. So a lot of this has been done, and we're increasing every year our level of knowledge about the environment and how we can actually take action to reduce the impact. I want to draw your attention to the last point. My farming background, I guess, is why we do so. But we held the first IDF dairy farming summit in Edinburgh in 2008. And it was most interesting to see how the farmers from different continents and different countries were actually trying to address the challenges that they were facing, challenges that were quite different, whether you were in Latin America, whether you were in Europe or Canada, and so on. And there's an excellent website that is shared between IDF and De La Valle on the sustainable dairy farming, where you can also see farmers expressing their views about the issue. And I welcome all of you to actually visit the site if you haven't done so already. The key element of my discussion today, of my presentation today, will be about the Global Dairy Agenda for Action, which was launched in Berlin last year. And this is, I think, a realization by 7 international and regional organizations that deal with the dairy industry or involved in the dairy industry that we have common objectives. And so we work at establishing common commitments towards reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. We also developed a joint sustainability website to share best practices, promote environmentally focused initiatives, and improve overall performance of the dairy sector. We have a good story to tell, and we need to tell it properly. The signatories of our IDF, Sustainable Agricultural Initiative Platform, the dairy group, SAI platform is regrouping 25 multinational organizations. The Global Dairy Platform that Kevin presented earlier on. The International Federation of Agricultural Producers, which has been extremely active as a lobby group for the farming community in this particular file, particularly with regards to the COP15 in Copenhagen. The EDA, European Dairy Association, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, that also has been very active in the environmental file. CEPALI, and as well as the ISADA, the Eastern and Southern African Dairy Association. This group represents more or less 90% of the world global dairy industry. So it's quite significant, I think, to have those 7 organizations sign an agreement. What's the objectives? Well, first, demonstrate the positive activities that the dairy sector is undertaking to support its commitment to sustainability, environmentally, socially, and economically. To catalog the continuous improvements already made and in progress as evidence of the industry's commitment. And this is what this website is all about. And thirdly, to make a call for action from policymakers to provide a supportive regulatory policy environment in which the sector can deliver on its commitments without compromise to the dairy industry's contribution to global nutritional and social well-being. Now, what's the commitment? 5 points for the commitments that we all agree to. Promote the development of a standard method for measurement of greenhouse gas production. And this is a key challenge. We hear as Richard was talking about, the 15% or equal to 20%, and we all measure it differently. We need to have a common ground in which we will all agree how we measure CO2 and equivalents and our greenhouse gas reduction. We need to promote and share best practices to minimize the production of greenhouse gases, advance the establishment of systems and protocols to measurement of emissions, promote opportunities for emissions reduction on the farm, and finally share research and information to maximize progress in developing mitigation technology.